The envelope had been sitting in the bottom drawer of his desk for 6 days. Don Romano hadn't opened it again since the first time. He didn't need to. He'd memorized every line the moment he read it. Sophia knew nothing about the envelope. That was the point. She found him at the desk that evening, later than usual, the desk lamp the only light in the room, his reading glasses pushed up into his hair though he wasn't reading anything. "You've been sitting in here for 2 hours, she said, leaning against the door frame. "Maria's kept your dinner warm 3 times. I'll eat later." "Don." She crossed the room, close enough now to see the tension along his shoulders that he usually hid better than this. "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong. You've said that every night this week." He looked up at her, and for a moment, something in his face nearly broke, the particular exhaustion of a man carrying weight he'd decided, deliberately, not to share. "It's business," he said. "Nothing you need to worry about." Sophia had heard that sentence more times in 18 years of marriage than she could count, and every time, it meant the exact opposite of what it claimed. "You always say that right before something terrible happens. That's not fair. Isn't it?" Her voice stayed calm, but her eyes didn't. "I've buried enough of your men's widows to know what your silences mean, Don. I've learned to read you better than you think." He didn't answer. In the drawer beside his knee, the envelope sat closed, containing a single photograph and 4 lines of type that had rearranged everything he thought he understood about his own family's history, a name from Sophia's past, one she'd never mentioned in 18 years of marriage, connected to a man now circling closer to their door than either of them knew. "I need you to trust me," he finally said. "I do trust you. That's never been the problem." Sophia sat down slowly in the chair across from him, folding her hands in her lap the way she did when she was steadying herself for something. "The problem is you deciding, over and over, that I can't handle whatever it is you're protecting me from. I am not made of glass." "I know that. Then why does it feel like every time something dangerous comes near this family, I'm the last to know?" He looked away from her, toward the window, toward the dark shape of the garden where 2 of his men stood watch every night now, ever since the midnight call. The truth was simpler and worse than she imagined. The photograph in the envelope showed a man Sophia had once known, years before Don Romano, years before any of this, a man who was very much alive, very much dangerous, and very much aware of exactly who Sophia had become. The 4 lines of type beneath it weren't a threat. They were an invitation, addressed to Don Romano personally, offering information about that man's current plans in exchange for something Don Romano hadn't yet decided whether he was willing to give. He could tell her all of it. He could open the drawer right now and put the photograph in her hands and let her carry the weight alongside him the way she always insisted she wanted to. Instead, he stood, crossed to her side of the desk, and knelt in front of her chair the way he'd knelt in front of Emma at the school gate weeks earlier. "There are things in this life," he said quietly, "that once you know them, you can't unknow them. I've spent 18 years trying to keep as many of those things away from you and the children as I can. Not because I don't trust you. Because I love you too much to let you carry what I carry. That's not protection, Don. That's control dressed up as love." The words landed harder than she'd meant them to, and for a moment neither of them spoke. "Maybe," he admitted, which surprised her, because he rarely admitted anything outright. "But right now, tonight, I need you to let me carry this one thing alone. Not forever. Just until I understand what I'm dealing with." Sophia searched his face for a long moment, the way she'd learned to over the years, looking for the tell that would let her know exactly how bad it was. She didn't find one. He'd gotten too good at hiding it. "Fine," she said finally, standing, smoothing down her dress with hands that weren't quite steady. "But Don, the day I find out you kept something from me that put our children in danger, I won't forgive it. Not this time." She left the room without waiting for a response. He sat back down slowly, opened the drawer, and looked once more at the photograph, a face from his wife's past, smiling in a way that felt, now, like a threat wearing an old friend's expression. Outside, rain had started again, tapping against the window in the same rhythm it had the night Victor confessed his sister's kidnapping, the same rhythm as every secret this house had learned to keep. Don Romano closed the drawer and locked it. Somewhere across the city, the man in the photograph was already making his next move, and the wife who once knew him better than anyone had no idea he was coming back into her life, because the husband who loved her most had decided, once again, that some truths were his alone to bear.